Black Alpha Network. Home of Black excellence. Power to the people.
One time for the B1s, one time for the foundationals, and one time for certified black society. It's a new day, new wave, and we gonna do what we always do, and that's regulate. So all the race regulators, it's time to mount up. Let's get it.
Is this true? Did you experience something like this?
Yes, I experienced that. There's a lot of hostility from the white women. They really don't like us to be in the train. Somebody was telling me I have to stand up, I have to go out. If I'm not a Ukrainian, I shouldn't be in the train of a Ukrainian. I should find anywhere I should go to. So it's really, really, really sad that we have to face this. And they prefer their pets, their animals, even before a black man or a black woman. They were just too mean to us as if we know humans. No food, nothing, no support. It was just on your own. All they did was go to your embassy. If your embassy is not there, the rest they leave it up to you. Black girl go, they are pushing her, they're not letting her go, Is it right? They are not allowing any black people to enter inside the gates. We are all here. It's only Ukrainians that they are allowing in. Even the ones with kids, they're not allowing them in. We are students! We are students! We are students! We are students! We are students!
A lot of segregation and racism from the people who managed to actually get to the passport control. It seems like there's a hierarchy of Ukrainians first, Indians second, Africans last.
Okay, certified black family, how y'all doing? How's it going? You feeling good? I like that. But yo, one love. Them sounds y'all just heard right there, that's exactly what you've been seeing on the TV, on the internet, everywhere. That's it. When tethering goes wrong. It's hard out here for a tether. Somebody help them. Somebody help them. Because that same energy that they have for us, they don't have for these people. You see them right now in the Ukraine. They getting slapped and smacked all over the place. They got them out there freezing, basically leaving them in the middle of a war where you can't go nowhere. Yeah, but don't nobody say nothing about that. I seen them say more about foundational black Americans who don't even give a damn. Yes, just like the headline says, we're gonna talk about these $2 tethers. Yup, them. And we call them $2 tethers because they ain't worth nothing. See, us FBA, we're used to getting it out the mud. We are a prideful people, a very prideful people. If we were not prideful people, we wouldn't even be here. We would have folded a long time ago. Something about us is just different. Everybody knows it, everybody sees it, and those of us who are part of it, we feel it. It's just something that we have. It's just something that comes natural to us and we own it. Either you wake up with this or your ass ain't got it at all, and we got it. It's like when people say you had to be there to see it. Well, when it comes to foundationals, you got to be us to know it, and we all do. And our history speaks for itself. Our perseverance speaks for itself. Everything that we've been through is all documented and tracked. Everybody knows that foundational black Americans, we stand tall, we stand strong, we stick our chin up, chest out, and we go for ours. Survivors, pure survivors, baby. You can put a foundational black American anywhere on this planet and they're gonna hold their own. They're gonna hold their own. They don't have to stand next to someone, cling to them, leech off of them, mooch from them. We don't do none of that. Not right here in certified black society. That shit's foreign to us. It's not in our DNA. Our makeup is authentic. Everything we do is authentic to the core. So when we see somebody that likes to fly all the way over to our country and keep crowbarring themselves into our policies, try to weasel their way into our conversations, try to take our reparations or eat off our plate, we don't really fuck with that. We don't fuck with that because we don't respect it. Foundational black Americans are the most true, honest, and respectful people. If you do things the right way, we're gonna rock with you. If you do things the wrong way or you try to play us, then we're gonna check you. Simple as that. Ain't too much about it. I mean, we could break it down in a million different ways, but I think that right there is pretty plain and simple. You violate, we're gonna demonstrate. That's how we get down. Don't be mad at us for being real. We was based out of being real. We wouldn't be here right now if we weren't so real. All that keep it real and stay true to yourself, all that comes from us because we have a culture based on pride. These other groups, they don't have cultures based on pride, and you can see their behavior politically. If you're so prideful politically, how come you're always at our front doorstep trying to crowbar your way in? If you're so prideful socially, how come you always put on a costume, cock your hat to the side, put your shades on, and try to walk like, talk like, act like foundational Black Americans? We don't do that with y'all. If you're so prideful traditionally, how come you're always running around saying you created things that the whole damn world knows foundational started? You're trying to run with our shit. That don't sound like prideful people to us. No, because everything that we represent is things that we did. Everything we say that we created are things that we've created. We don't run around here acting like we created shit that has nothing to do with us. All we do is see it and keep moving. Black Americans ain't on that. We're not running around trying to crowbar our way into other groups. We're not running around here trying to weasel ourselves in and jackal our way by. We don't do that shit. That's that hyena shit. That's that $2 tether. That's why we call them $2 tethers, because they ain't got shit. Only thing they got is the address to the country that foundational Black Americans built. Damn, I gotta say that one more time. The only thing they got is the address to the country that foundational Black Americans built. And they ain't even got the shit on GPS. Nope. They wrote it down. They still using a fucking atlas, because that's how far behind us these motherfuckers are. All they do is show up to America with a suitcase, some cake soap, and an FBA starter kit. How to be a foundational. How to take what's ours. How to steal what don't belong to you. How to use a crowbar. And then they ask go jump on the Twitter space for about an hour and a half and give a bunch of tether babble. Don't make no damn sense. I know y'all be hearing that. I know y'all be hearing that. These motherfuckers can't argue, debate, or nothing because they ain't got no facts on their side. They ain't got none. They talking that tether bullshit. That tether bullshit don't add up. It don't make no dollars. It don't make no sense. Not at all. They just get there and just babble. I mean, just say shit that don't make no motherfucking sense. And y'all know how it's so bad. I'm gonna tell you how we know this shit is just like crazy. And FBA, we are amused by them. Straight comedy. That's why Tariq Nasheed be getting them so mad with the government song. That shit funny though. That shit funny as hell. And they be mad as fuck. They be mad as fuck. I've seen Twitter spaces where Black folks are literally laughing because that tether babble don't make no motherfucking sense. It's funny. That shit is comical. And how do you know that these motherfuckers is on a way lower level and they on some straight clown shit? I'm gonna tell you why. And I know y'all seen this. Have you ever in your life, as long as you done live, have you ever seen someone say that they're better than you while they're talking and acting like you? Have you ever seen somebody say how great they are when everything they do is an off-brand version of you? I've never seen that shit before in my life until now. Them tethers be on there talking about Black Americans trying to insult us using Black American slang words. I be sitting there thinking, motherfucker, you using our words. How you gonna say you better than foundational Black Americans using foundational Black American lingo? They be talking some crazy shit and it be funny. I seen the motherfucker one day say, be quiet and let me talk, Wody. This motherfucker acting like he from the 9th Ward of Louisiana. His ass from the 9th Ward of Nigeria. What? No, listen, son, listen. Motherfucker, you ain't rock him. Let me speak, bro. Listen, bro. Hey, you a sad case when you sitting there using our slang trying to disrespect us. And then at the same time saying that you built everything. Telling us that everything the foundational Black Americans have done is because of y'all. But yet, you can't even speak with your own words. Pull out your FBA starter kits and take notes. Write that shit down. That's how you say it for real, for real. But on the main note, that's exactly the logic that we don't wrap our mind around. That's exactly the type of bullshit that we don't fuck with and we don't respect it. And we got the right to not respect it because that shit is wrong. It's wrong. There's nothing noble about that. There's nothing prideful about that. You're not getting no brownie points for that. Flying over here, mimicking us, while at the same time telling the world that you created us. Walking around here trying to crowbar yourself into our policies that you can't even get going. Fleeing your own country and then want to come to my country and act like you ride some high horse. You ain't riding a motherfucking thing. And when they come to this country and they come across foundational Black Americans, they get knocked off that fucking high horse. ASAP, because we don't play for that. And we don't have that type of weasel mentality. When you deal with a motherfucker who's fake and a motherfucker who's real, you're gonna get this type of activity. Anytime you see somebody who's on some bullshit versus somebody who's on some real shit, you're gonna get this type of activity. We keep it real, we stay thorough, we stay prideful, everybody knows, duly noted. But when it comes to them same little backdoor scavenger ways, that's the same shit they bring over here and it don't fly. They thought they were going to get smooth sailing. They thought they'd come over here, they would try to dominate us, put their nose up in the air, look down on us, talk all that bullshit, steal what's ours, and they thought we would just take it. Because, that's what they do in their country. You got to understand, once again, it's a difference of logic. They're coming from a place, they're fleeing from a place where colonizers come over there every weekend. Colonizers are literally over there playing cards and beating them up and taking what's theirs. They got that defeated colonizer mentality where anybody who shows up will just take their shit. Straight up. They will have numbers. They'll outnumber motherfuckers 10 to 1, 20 to 1, 50 to 1, and still be losing. Got all the numbers and still losing. Not just losing in the worst fashion, but yet you got the biggest population. That's their logic. Once again, that's Tether logic. We got certified energy, and they're completely different. They're on two completely different ends of the spectrum. We represent ours. Y'all know straight up the shit that go down over there would never go on over here. Fuck no. Because if it could, it would have already. Y'all know damn well if they go over there and they colonize Africa, what's stopping them from doing that to us a long time ago? We won't let it happen. We won't let it happen. Think about that. A small percentage of us, 40 plus million, are doing better at fighting supremacy than their couple billion. 40 million, a billion. We're over here getting in their face, taking to the streets and holding ours down. They're over there waving other people's flags, having other people fly their workers in and take all their resources. But check this. While all that's going on in the Ukraine and the Ukrainians are discriminating and mistreating all the Africans, over in Africa, the African presidents are inviting the Ukrainians to come over for a vacation. Straight up, y'all seen it? Oh man, goddamn, that is a new low. Just when you think they couldn't coon any harder, here comes this shit. Gosh, damn, they're finding new ways to be docile. They're finding new ways to be defeated. They're finding new ways to kiss somebody's ass. That's what they're gonna do. These tethers, they gonna kiss somebody's ass. That's guaranteed. They gonna kiss somebody's ass. And they're literally kissing the ass of the group that are beating their own people up. The Ukrainians, check this out. The Ukrainians literally are taking a break out of a war to whoop on Africans. Hold on, one more time. The Ukrainians said, we're gonna put this war on pause and we're gonna whoop on the Africans real quick. And the Africans are inviting them over for a barbecue. God damn, that's cold. Boy, that's cold. But I ain't surprised. Hey, if I asked you right now, are you really surprised that Africans are selling out other Africans? You wouldn't be surprised by that, would you? That'd be basic, right? Because it's typical. That's your typical tether behavior. That's what they do. And they do it all day long. And they always want us to help them. We can't help y'all because y'all can't help y'all. And like Tariq Nasheed said, I don't want to hear that the government shit. I don't want to hear that because first off, we deal with the strongest government every day. And not only do we deal with them, we challenge them. And second, you talk about the government, it's the government's fault. Well, you can't handle the African government. You can't handle the Chinese colonizer, that's the government. You can't handle the American colonizer, that's the government. The French colonizer, the Portuguese, the German, the Italian, those are all governments. I guess you just can't handle any goddamn body, do you? You ain't got no control. So if you ain't got no control over your situation and it's all the government's fault, where you find all this energy to hate on FBAs? That let me know you on that bullshit. And once we know you on that bullshit, you get put on that I see your ass list. And we G-check each and every one of them with no problem. Some of these African presidents are saving Ukrainians who are practicing anti-black racism on Africans. Matter of fact, they'll practice anti-black racism on they ass, but they go for it again. And that tells you everything you need to know about a $2 tether. We've been out here on an island going one-on-one with supremacy consistently for 400 plus with no help, with no friends, with no allies. The only ally, help, or friends we have is that damn mirror. And we still been holding our own. What the fuck is their excuse? And let me ask this question, B1 certifies. Let me talk to you real quick. Can I ask a question? Can y'all answer this for me? Because this has been on my mind. And I want to know your opinion. I want to hear y'all views. Tell me, what would happen if foundational black Americans had the same population numbers that Africa has? What would we be doing? What would we be achieving? Would we be doing the unthinkable? Would we be doing the unbelievable? Because I mean, we really do the unbelievable now with only 40 million. What happens if we flip roles and Africa had 40 million and we had 1 billion? Would FBA be holding shit down? Would FBA be breaking all the motherfucking records? But we all know the answer to that. And they know the answer to that. And that's where the jealousy comes from. It's all jealousy. They like the fucking mad rapper. That's it. They always upset and they always angry. No smoke for nobody else. No smoke for the colonizer. No smoke for the abuser. No smoke for the exploiter. Only smoke for foundational Black Americans. That's all. And you can look at it. That's on record. On record. Just look. How many times do you ever see them handling or having that same energy? What we say, I want to see that same energy. Have y'all seen them have that same energy for the Ukraine? The Ukrainians right now are beating them down right there in the street, completely abusing them. I haven't seen one tether on Twitter, timeline, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Clubhouse. I ain't seen shit. And the foundational Black Americans, we not the ones out there beating you in the street. We not the ones who got you down bad right now. We not the ones who's not letting you evacuate and got you in the middle of a war zone, getting popped at. That ain't us. That's them. It's the same thing with China. When China was whooping them up in McDonald's, did you see any of these tethers take to the internet, take to the news, take to any platform and denounce it? Nope. Matter of fact, anytime they're in any type of turmoil, you hear them make more pleas for us to help them than you'll ever hear them calling out the opposition. Goes back to what we say, y'all. Love for everybody but us and smoke for nobody but us. And that's the shit we don't respect. So anytime they get in them Twitter spaces and they start talking all that off-brand foundational shit and they put their kid on, man, we see them. We see them. And there's so many things that you could break down. And one of the main things you always see is they have no talking points. I mean, they say shit, they talk, but they don't have any points. They just go over the same stuff. I've heard coon babble before, but that shit ain't nothing like tether babble. Fuck no. No. Tethers make coons sound articulate. That's how fucked up it is. I hear them say things and it's like, did you even rehearse this shit? Are you even trying? I know you're down bad. I knew you had to flee your country. I knew you weren't man or woman enough to stay where the fuck you was and build things. I know you got jealousy, you got spite, you got vitriol for foundational Black Americans. But can you at least rehearse your lines? God damn, and find some slang words that y'all created. Matter of fact, think about that. I was just laughing a minute ago. Y'all heard me because that shit funny as hell. I was just laughing about how they got to use foundational Black American slang to insult foundational Black Americans. Makes no sense, right? But did you ever notice that the only slang they do use are terms like akata? Oh, they'll come up with slang words real quick. If they're disrespecting Black Americans, then all of a sudden they'll find them words. They won't have no problem using their own culture when they're trying to throw insults. But the rest of the time, they walking like us. They using our slang, our lingo, trying to be stylistic like us. But when they get mad and they start talking all that tether babble, then all of a sudden they go back into their bag and they start saying shit that comes from their country. They bring that same vitriol that they have over there, then they bring it over here. It's the same way the dominant society has supremacist Tourette syndrome, where when they get mad enough, they'll blurt shit out. Fuck you, Marquise. Shut the fuck up, Shaniqua. They'll get mad. They'll get mad as fuck, right? Go back to Africa. They'll do that shit all the time. Supremacists. It's the same thing that these motherfuckers do. Any other time it's, shut up, Walty. What, peace, God? What up, son? They'll do that shit all day long. And when they get mad, it's Akata. How the fuck you went from our slang to your slang? Whoa, you switched that shit real quick. Soon as your ass got mad, you stopped talking like a foundational and you start talking like a tether. We seen your real colors. You went from Syracuse to the Senegal. That's tether Tourette's. And ain't it funny how the only time you act like yourself is when you're trying to talk down on me? That tells us everything we need to know about these $2 tethers. Shit, by the end of this episode, they might be worth a nickel. I don't know, we'll find out. B1. But speaking of B1, that's been the whole apparatus. We've been focused on ourselves. Self-driven, self-motivated policies. Reparations for foundational Black Americans. That is a self-driven, self-motivated policy, and that's what the world don't like. Because Black Americans have been the only group historically who only fight for other people. It's always been kumbaya, we all friends, let's go fight for them over there, them way back there, but never ourselves. So while we've been fighting for everybody else has been focusing on their own community. Well, now we done got to it to where we saying, well, we gonna focus on our community. Yeah, we got the Sambos, but we done pushed them to the side. Yeah, we got the Coons, we done pushed them to the sides, the bootlickers to the side, the counterfeits to the side. Anybody who does not have that B1 mentality has been pushed to the side. And that's what it's been. And a lot of people called this years ago. They said it's gonna come down to the blacks who wanna do for self versus the blacks who wanna do for everyone else. And ladies and gentlemen, the blacks who wanna do for self are winning. That be us. We are them. And we represent it to the fullest. Look at that term right there. B1, that means black first. That's why I say this is the black first era. Once again, you've had multiple eras in the United States. You have the indigenous era, before the motherfucking cameras was rolling, when black folks was roaming this place for thousands of years. But that's another subject, another topic for another day, and we will get on that. But if you want to talk about modern times, you have slavery, you have Reconstruction, you have the Civil Rights era, and now you have the B1 era. And the B1 era has been ushered in by every single one of us. All of y'all, salute yourself, pop your own fucking collar, pat yourself on the back. We did it. We have done it. We've already made our mark in this world. That's what people don't understand. All of us. It gets real out here. We be putting in real work and it's a hard grind. But ladies and gentlemen, we have already made a mark that will live in this country forever. Only thing we got to do now is put the motherfucking cherry on top. We need to go around and finish strong. It's the fourth quarter. We done did everything we needed to do. Now go hit the fucking shot. Go hit the fucking shot. Like motherfucking Kobe, rest in peace, baby. Hit that last motherfucking game winner, and we won. We've already did all the work. We already got the game where it needs to be. Now go get it done. And that's the mantra, and that needs to be the attitude moving forward. Have we already self-identified? Yes. Have we already mobilized? Yes. Have we already galvanized? Yes. What's left? Go get the fucking tangibles. And I'm telling y'all, we doing it. And that's why I say I'm proud of y'all. I'm proud of y'all. And I include myself, but in a humble fashion. Every one of us, man, as a team, as a family, as a unit, we get things accomplished and we move together. And this era right here, we have perfected it. And it ain't done. It is not done. While they out here throwing plantation celebrations, we out here putting in work. While they out here having coon parades, we out here putting in work. While they out here having a Sambo showdown, we putting in work. I wake up every day and say, how can we advance this further? How can we take it to another level? How can we hit the top floor? And my answer to that is to get up with all my B1s. Certified Black Society. Foundational Black Americans, when we on code, we never lose. The code is undefeated. And speaking of the code, that's why we are where we are. That's why we have maintained, that's why we have sustained anything they've thrown at us, because we are on code. Everybody used to say, we gotta get a code, we gotta get a code. Well, damn it, we got one, and it's winning. And this is why motherfuckers is upset with us. This is why they mad, this is why they angry, and this is why they're going to stay mad and angry, because we ain't going nowhere. We understand the way the game is played, we understand the way things unfold, and we're gonna ride that wave all the way to the top. And we're gonna do it side by side, brothers, sisters, kings, queens, the goddess, and the gods. I say that every time, and I'm gonna keep on saying it, because the best part about waking up black is another day to go out and be excellent. And apparently, by the results, a lot of us have been waking up excellent and putting shit down. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. I know I do. By the way, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Catch me on Twitter, Black Alpha Net W1. Appreciate the love, appreciate everything. The wheels is rolling, we riding, and we doing about 100 down the fucking highway. Black first, black only, just black, and it do not stop there. And the reason why we are on our game so much, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful people, the reason why we on our game so much is because we realize we in the fourth quarter. It's the 11th hour. You know what I'm saying? This is the 12th round. This is the championship rounds. This is where the fight get real. This is where you gonna sink or you gonna swim. And we realize that, black folks, because we seen all the games. We seen the Obamas, we seen the Kamalas, we seen the Bidens, we seen it all. And we realize if we don't get the fuck up, remove these suckers, remove these coons, then it's gonna be a hard fucking time. And what did we do? We got up and we checked them off one by one. I promise you, we done had a fucking B1 list. We done checked names off that motherfucker. Doesn't it feel like in the last, I say 3 to 4 years, you could say 5, it don't matter. But specifically in the last year and a half, foundational Black Americans have identified everybody who's on that bullshit, wrote their names on the list, and it feels like we going down one by one checking everybody. Everybody getting checked, everybody. We woke up with names on that list, and we done handled them all personally. We've been paying these motherfuckers visits. Anybody who's been on bullshit done been checked. The Democrats have been checked, the Republicans have been checked, these POCs have been checked, these minorities have been checked, the Black and Brown Coalition has been checked. I mean, look at it. We out here giving everybody that smoke. Everybody, ABG, anybody can get it. And that's where we are right now with these tethers. Anybody who comes at us, motherfuckers in the diaspora, motherfuckers who ain't from the diaspora, anyone who is trying to crowbar themselves into foundational Black American policies, Black American livelihood, and Black American advancement is getting their ass checked on sight. It ain't even no shit where we waiting around no more. That little shit where we sit back against the wall and wait until it's too late, not to be one era. Not to be one era. All that we gonna go forgives and turn the other cheek, not to be one era. Not to be one era. All that shit where we gonna say, well, you know, it ain't that bad, y'all. Or we our own worst enemy. Not to be one era. That's the beauty of being black first. Black first. We checking motherfuckers off top, off rip, on sight. Anybody can get it. Straight up. We done green lit their ass. So we've been going down this list and we've been checking names. Oh, you want some bullshit? G-check. Oh, you want some sucker shit? G-check. Oh, you a tether? G-check. You trying to crowbar yourself into our policies? G-check. You ain't trying to run that motherfucking reparations check? G-check. And I love it. God damn it, I love it. I love this shit. I love being a foundational Black American. I love being a certified Black society representative. And I love putting this B1 in the sky. And I'm gonna ride for it all the way to the motherfucking end. Bet that, believe that, know that. And I salute y'all. I love y'all with a passion, as I always say. And I cannot sit here and talk about checking motherfuckers without sending out love to all my family. Because I done found family, I done found purpose, I done found it all right here in the Black community. I didn't have to run. I didn't have to jump over no fences. I didn't have to put on my motherfucking track shoes and go to another community, go to another country. You see where I'm getting at? Black Americans, we stood right here. Black Americans stood right here in the face of the most oppressive government of all time, and we did it by ourselves. We didn't have no reinforcements. We didn't have no backup. They cut us off from our language, our religion, our history, our families. We were bought and sold. We had the worst treatment, the worst environment, the worst clothing, the worst food. Anything that can be the worst in human history, foundational Black Americans got it the worst. That's why the only war that matters is the anti-Black war, because the anti-Black war is the war that outlives all these other ones. And that's why it's the only one we give a fuck about. So when they come around here and they try to get us on that goddamn throw the flag in the air and forget about racism, because that's what they want. They want to say, oh, forget about racism, focus on the Ukraine. Oh, forget about the dominant society, focus on Russia. Oh, forget about supremacy, focus on another country. No. Fuck that. Ain't about to happen. Only thing we care about is foundational Black Americans, because it's B1. And if it's B1, run that goddamn check. And I'll tell you what, let me say this. We ain't gonna run to another country. We gonna stay in our country and you gonna run that check. And that's the bottom motherfucking line. See, all these other people that had to do all that shit and skip over here, hop over here, swim in fucking lakes and rivers and climb fences, that breeds an escapism mentality. That breeds a cowardice mentality. When you gotta flee, run, and hide, and leave your wife and kids behind, all that does is create a further defeated mind, a defeated mentality, and a defeated position. And that's something that we don't understand. You can't take somebody who ran from his country and then try to put him in the same room as someone who built his country. That shit don't work. Those two things do not go together. So if anybody wants to know why a tether and a foundational don't rock right, that is the fucking reason. We're strong-minded. All we know is to finish the fucking job. As I said, finish strong. Listen to what we talk about. By the time any of us got here, we were already 400 years deep in the hole and never ran once. Don't tell me a motherfucker who ran, hide, skipped, jumped, dove, hopped, flipped, twisted, spun, rolled all the way into my country. I mean, literally, motherfucker rolled across the border, ended up in my country, stood up, brushed himself off, and told me everything my people fought for belongs to him. Shit, foundationals, y'all know we ain't flying with that one. Y'all know that shit ain't gonna go. Fuck no. We on a different time. We on a whole different time. They better check their watch. Matter of fact, if that motherfucker still works, because I know you had to swim through the goddamn river to get here and hop a fucking fence. Nah, that ain't flying on this side. Never, not at all. Better check your watch again. Let me tell you, matter of fact, if that motherfucker don't work, I'll tell you what time it is. It's foundational time. And it's all about us. And we don't go for none of that. And you gotta see it. Everyone wants in on what we have. Reparations checks is like a lottery ticket. All of a sudden, when Black Americans start talking about reparations, everybody wants to cling to us even harder. They used to just cling to us when we be in the streets fighting for immigration laws, fighting for voter rights and all those things. Now what are they doing? They're out here trying to say, come home, brother. Now everybody in Africa want to tell black Americans to come home. These motherfuckers ain't sending a sailboat back for black folks. Had all types of fucked up things to say. It's well documented, and we done already broke it down. They have never, ever stood up for black folks. Seen black folks getting harmed for years. You pick an era. We just named all the eras of foundational black Americans in this country. You pick an era, and Africans sat back and watched it and didn't say shit. Not a motherfucking thing. You want to go there? When black folks was over here picking cotton, getting beat, getting whipped, tied to the fucking whipping post, they ain't sent a sailboat. When black Americans was out here getting dogs sicked on them, getting hit with motherfucking clubs and water hose sprayed on them, they ain't sent a sailboat. When Trayvon Martin, Sam DuBose, Alton Sterling, Philando Castile, Freddie Gray, Sandra Bland, Rakita Boyd, Jordan Davis, George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Rashard Brooks, Mike Brown, Eric Gardner, and Breonna Taylor were being harmed on live TV, they ain't sent a sailboat. But now when we start talking about reparations, it's come home, brother. Come back home to your family. Shit. My family's right motherfucking here. Because as soon as we start talking about reparations and as soon as we start talking about money, they flip-flop. We went from Akatas to aunties. We went from cotton pickers to cousins. Now we brothers. Now we sisters. Well, let me tell you something. And newsflash to all them. We've been calling each other brothers and sisters right here for 400 motherfucking years. Every name I just mentioned is my brother or my sister. Everybody listening to this is my brother or sister. Everybody who's putting that B1 in the sky is my brother or sister. So as they say, we don't need no new friends. No new friends. But I'll tell you what we're going to get. We're going to get some new money. Whole lot of it. Whole lot of it. And you can't get none. So try another one. Speaking of loving your family, I love y'all. Ain't nothing like B1s, man. I appreciate y'all. I always say that. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to keep saying it. Salute, salute, salute. I see y'all. Keep doing your thing. We going to keep on riding. And we got more to unpack. Black Alpha Network. Certified. Let's go. Speaking of certified, how we got that certified mentality, they got that $2 tether mentality. And it ain't empowered. It ain't empowered at all. Only people that can be empowered are people who stay home and build what they got. Your daddy don't run out the motherfucking house. Your mama don't run out the motherfucking house. They don't lead the fucking kids. Anybody who does that is a coward. Anybody who does that is small, little, beneath. We stand 10, we stand strong, we stand tall, and that's all we know. We don't know nothing different. Foundational black Americans, this is how we hardwired. We're the rose that grew from concrete. We make a living out of this shit. Like Huey Newton said, suffering is good for the soul. The struggle breeds character, not running. Running does not breed a character. Running breeds a coward. Struggling and making it through, that's what builds true character, and that's us all the way to the T. When it comes to beating the odds, defeating the odds, and against all odds, we the kings and queens of that shit. We wear it proud, point blank. And even their celebrities from these other groups come over here on that bullshit. That same defeated mentality, their celebrities have it. Look at Akon. Y'all remember Akon? Akon used to talk all that shit. Remember, I don't know why Americans stay here in America. America's not for y'all. Come to Africa. It's better. Remember that shit? Listen, I got it right here. Listen to this motherfucker talk.
Source magazine, and I want to quote this. Black people in the U.S. can nag all they want how the system is against black people, but if they saw how other people lived in Africa, they would see how blessed they really are. Do you still believe this today when you see unarmed black teenagers being killed by the police? When you see protests in St. Louis, in Missouri, where you lived for a long time? When you see people taking to the streets in Atlanta and New York to denounce police brutality against young African American men, do you think the system really is for these people?
Well, the system was never for them.
So what made you say this?
Because when I said that, I was talking about the environment and where they live and the rights that they actually have and the blessing that they do, have actual access to. In Africa, the way I grew up, let's just pick a project in New York, for instance. That's a 5-star hotel compared to the environment I came up in. Like, if they see how they live, they actually get money from the government. They actually are programs that helps the impoverished and the poor, and you get food stamps, and they have it good compared to Africa. You follow? Outside of that, people have lived and moved and way beyond the slavery concept and idea, mind state. I think it's also the art of just letting the past go. and moving towards the future. And I think in the U.S., they have this stigma of just not letting go of the past and blaming the past on every mishap or, disappointment. And I think as long as you hold on to that past, it's just a lot of weight that you carry with you everywhere you go. And it's hard to move forward and move fast. You got to, weight on your back. You just got to let it go.
That's what we're talking about right there. The same way that a person gets on the internet in a Twitter space and tries to diss us using our slang, tries to talk to us using our words, tries to look down on us while he's acting like us, that's the same shit Akon's doing. He's over here talking all that about foundational Black Americans while he flew his ass over here to make a fortune. You're only making a fortune here in America because foundational Black Americans provided the way. If it wasn't for the work that foundational Black American ancestors put down, his ass would still be in the synagogue. As a matter of fact, his ass probably back in the synagogue right now. Cause all that slick talk and all that bullshit and them shots he was throwing at foundational Black Americans, he don't say that now. He said that years ago when Black folks was asleep. He ain't say that in the B1 era because he know better. They all know better. Y'all notice that when we start saying B1 and foundational Black Americans, Akon slowly disappeared? This motherfucker out here making songs with Tekashi 6ix9ine. Hey, that's as hot as he can get. He got to go make songs with a snitch because he knows he better never say that shit about foundationals in this era because this is the B1 era. And in the B1 era, there's consequences and repercussions. Bet that. Check this point out. I put this up on Twitter the other day. This shows exactly what we're talking about. In the last month, I've seen Africans and people in the diaspora have more smoke and more energy for Tariq Nasheed on Twitter Spaces than I've seen them have for the whole goddamn Ukraine who's out there smacking them. That's a damn shame. That's a damn shame. It's the same thing with the colonizers doing it. Colonizer coming to your land, smacking you, you wake up and you somehow point the finger at us. Always got smoke for us, none for everybody else. Typical Tether behavior, just like all that bullshit they talk on Twitter Spaces, that's typical Tether talk, Tether babble, Tether rambling, you name it. And that's why we put them all on the line, straight line. And another thing about FBA is that we are the only Black people who know and understand that anti-Black racism is global. Every other Black group does not understand this, don't want to understand it, can't see it. They have no perception of race, let alone racism, let alone anti-Black racism. They rather have their eyes focused on us, have their eyes focused on each other, have conflicts within. They don't understand the way the world views them. They don't understand that Black Americans have been fighting supremacy since day one. Where the fuck they been at? Not even trying. You don't get in the position that they are in, where they got the numbers and are still being dominated. You don't get in that position if you understand anti-Black racism. The only way you end up where they're at is if your ass is blind. And it's apparent they blind. Because we know no matter where you go, this side of the earth, that side of the earth, anti-Black racism is a global system. The system of supremacy is a global system. Understand, they don't use terms like B1, certified, dominant society, supremacy. When's the last time you even heard them say the word supremacy? We've identified it, broke it down to the point where we got words and terms. We know where it's at. We know where it's coming from. Shit, FBA on it. We stay ready so we ain't gotta get ready. They're over there dealing with supremacy every day and can't even see it. They going over to the Ukraine, can't even see it. They going to the Middle East, can't even see it. We understand it's a global system. They think they can escape it, run away from it, or they just want to be friends with it. That's something that you see on the consistent level. Matter of fact, this is something I came across right here. This is Vladimir Putin talking about a lot of these African leaders and how they are and how they act. I want y'all to check this out, give it a listen, and we're going to talk about it. Check it out. Here we go.
Russian President Putin says Africa is a cemetery for Africans. Before you form an opinion, first let me read you the whole quote of what he said. Putin says, quote, Africa will never be independent. Africans believe in Europeans, Americans, Chinese more than themselves. They don't trust themselves at all. A white man will commit crime in Africa, but no action will be taken because Africa authorities view us as semi-gods. Far from the truth. A black man can be abducted in Europe, get harassed, or even killed, but no African authority will question. Africans present themselves as weak people with no hope, especially when dealing with Europeans and Americans. They are their own enemies. They hate each other, and that gives their colonial masters power to continue exploiting African resources. When an African becomes rich, his bank accounts are in Switzerland. He travels to France for medical treatment. He invests in Germany. He buys from Dubai. He consumes Chinese. He prays in Rome and Mecca. His children stay in Europe. He travels to Canada, USA, Europe for tourism. If he dies, he will be buried in his native country of Africa. Africa is just a cemetery for Africans. How could a cemetery be developed? Putin asks.
Damn. Now, a lot of that shit we see. A lot of that shit goes on. And a lot of that shit is exactly what we're talking about. We understand global anti-black racism. Therefore, we know how black people are viewed. They don't understand local anti-black racism. Therefore, they're running around and people are saying shit like that about them. True or false? True or false? Shit, we put the facts on the table and we sort them out directly. True story. I mean, look at it. At home and abroad, they fight each other. And then all their leaders want to leave to other countries and all their regular people want to flee to other countries. Is that self-pride? I just sat here and said, when you're at home, you're fighting. And if you ain't at home fighting, the leaders want to move, the regular people want to move, the rich want to move, the poor want to move. When the president goes and lives in England and then the poor guy wants to come to America, that don't sound like a happy home. And that's what we call it now. And the diaspora is not the only tethers. No. Tethers come from all over the damn world. They all come over here so they can eat off the plate of foundational black Americans and they can live off the land that foundational black American ancestors created. That's it. And you know, we see them. You know, the black and brown coalition. We're all brothers, man. I'm a minority like you, man. When they come up here and they talk all that bullshit and try to team up with us, but really be on some sneaky, I want what you got type shit, we see them. These little gas stations and shit, these corner stores, we see them. The jig is up, the game is up. We see through all that shit. And those right there, the ones I just mentioned, those are some of the biggest tethers. Oh my goodness. They're quick to throw their arms around us and be like, hey brother, black and brown coalition homes. No. Not black and brown coalition. No, it's black in reparations, motherfucker. And you can back the fuck up. That's that. And that's the wave that we ride right now. And that's why I love it. That shit right there, what I just said, back the fuck up. It's about us, B1, just black. That game right there, official. That's why we are in business. Now, they run around and say we brothers and we friends, but you gotta watch out. Because every now and then, somebody will slip. You'll always have a rogue tether that'll say something and really shine the light on how everybody is. Listen to this guy right here and listen to how he speaks about that community and how they feel about our community. It's something that we already know, but like we said, when you're a race regulator, you regulate. Let's check it out.
Of course, we were in between the black population and the Anglo population. We really didn't catch as much problems, but I could see how the Afro-American population was mistreated very, very much so, even by us. Unfortunately.
Did you go to a all Mexican school, or were you integrated with the whites and all that?
I went to school in San Antonio, so the neighborhood that we moved into was about 50-50 Anglo and 50% Hispanic. Didn't really quite perceive myself differently. I did very good in school, so I was always in the top. They had structured classes and stuff, so I was very fortunate that I got a good education in elementary school.
Did you, just going back real quick, you mentioned that the Mexican-American population didn't necessarily treat the African-American population well. Can you speak a little bit about that?
Well, they use the same words that the Anglos use, nigger, things like that, you know, and boy. And, you know, obviously your relationship with a single individual is very different. I had, you know, I hate to say it like this, I had a lot of friends that were Afro-Americans, you know. But, you know, as a whole, they lived in one part of town, and I guess, unfortunately, we practiced the same racism at them that was being practiced against us, to be frank with you.
He said it right then and there, and that's everything we say and everything we know. So no, that's just another tether group, and tethers will be exposed, and they have been exposed. See, every now and again, one of them will come out and they'll slip, and they'll say something like that right there. and it exposes what we've already known. And it's coming from the inside, but the evidence has already shown it. This is why they sat out the civil rights era. They sit out all of our marches, all of our rallies, all of our protests. They're just another group with a collection plate, waiting until we do something and coming in and trying to take credit for it. That's it, or benefit from it, or whatever they can get. If they can get a fucking crumb, this is how low it is. Like I said, these other groups have no shame in coming over here with a collection plate and taking what's ours. We look at that shit as low. We look at that shit as beneath us. We don't do that. We strong. We say, man, fuck no. The last thing an FBA would ever do is crawl to somebody else and try to take what's theirs. But they do that shit on a regular. That's normal to them. That's who they are. That's how they operate. Straight face, no problems. And I tell black folks, we got to quit thinking that everybody else thinks like us. No, fuck no. That determination and that drive, that let's stand here and build what we build, they don't have that. They'll come over and take your shit with a smile. No motherfucking shame. All these other groups, all the tethers, y'all know what I'm talking about. Every single last one of them, whoever's in your head, that's who I'm talking about. They do not mind taking from black Americans, stealing from black Americans, taking the food off your kid's plate. They'll do that shit with a smile and then call you the N-word and walk out the room. Straight up. These other groups ain't playing. They'll take your reparations check and go buy a new house. They not fucking around. They playing for keeps. This the jungle out here. It's a power vacuum. Everybody wants what's best for themselves. It's every community on their own. They ain't on that kumbaya shit. All that forgive shit, ain't nobody on that. They not locking arms. How many times you seen other groups out there locking arms with people? And how many times have you seen these kumbaya motherfuckers doing it? That's not what it is. And foundational black Americans, we are the only people who know this. There's not another group of black folks on the planet who understand the way the game is played, who understand it's all about self first. That's why we say be one. It's all about building something from the beginning. That's why we say foundational. And it's all about being thorough. That's why we say certified black society. We get it, they don't. And that's because we built different. And just to show you how different we are, we got a whole community based on putting in work. That term, put in work, comes from us. The old saying, get up, get out, and get some, that comes from us. Do you see that the terminology used by the community is a reflection of how the community came up? We came up getting it out the mud, which is another term of going out and getting yours, building. We came up on the grind, which is another term for somebody going out and getting theirs, building. We walk like we've accomplished what we've accomplished. We talk like we've accomplished what we accomplished, and we gonna own everything we've accomplished because it's all about us. And one thing you gotta be careful of is the Buddy Tether. That's the one who comes around and throws his arm around you and tells you how they're not all bad. That's an old tactic. That's old. They got that from the dominant society years ago. And that's why we always highlight that tethers are just an extension of the dominant society. Oh yeah, they all learn that shit from the dominant society, and then they come over here and they try to pull it off on us. That's their little off-brand tactics, because that's all they are. They're off-brand supremacists in tether form. And we see them. Tethers fly their ass from planes all over the fucking world. They rack up a lot of frequent flyer mileage just to come here. And when they get here, they don't respect their ancestors. You know, we live for our ancestors. Our ancestors created all this. We sitting here talking right now because of foundational black Americans. Everything you do today, if you get up today, you go to work, you see your kids, you pick your kids up from school, you go to the grocery store, watch TV, whatever it is you're doing, you're only doing it because of foundational black American ancestors that paved the way. And they did it with their lives, the ultimate sacrifice. So if somebody comes over here and they disrespect our ancestors, 2 middle fingers up. Fuck them. And that's the mentality I stay on, and that'll never change. You gotta understand, they hate on foundational black Americans today. So you know they don't give a damn about our ancestors. Not at all. Not at all. They didn't care about black folks from 1526, 1619, 1719, 1819, 1919, 2019, 2019, 20, 21, 22. They don't give a fuck. 23, 24, 25, all the way into the fucking future. 3019. They don't give a fuck. They've never gave a damn about foundational black Americans because the only people who have been us. And I think that's why we're so tight. This is why we stand together so strong. This is why we persevere. And that's why we are the ultimate survivors. Ultimate survivors. Elite, special, exclusive. What's Dr. Claude Anderson always say? We are exceptional people. Well, that is exceptionally true. And I stand by it. We all stand by it. We won't and we don't tolerate games. We are all we got. Like the old saying is, we all we got. That's why we are those exceptional people, because the whole time, all we've had is each other. Through thick and thin. You want to talk about some day ones. Ain't nothing more day one than a foundational Black American. No, because no matter what we were dealing with, from 1526 to now, anytime something was going on, we always had each other's back. Motherfuckers was out here hating on us, I could always look to the side and see my sister. When motherfuckers was fronting on us, I could always look to the side and see my brother. Anytime we got in a real situation and we needed to whoop somebody's ass, I could always see my brother and sister. And when we all together, they in trouble. And that's what's happening right now with this B1 era. We are all together and they asses is in trouble. Because what came first was self-identification. What comes next is reparations. Those are the two things that are going to change the whole fucking world. Whole world, from the inside out. And I can't just say the country, because everything we do affects the world. Foundational Black Americans are the most influential people on the planet. If the world stopped spinning right now today, the number one culture would be foundational Black Americans. They ain't out there trying to be cowboys and do-si-do in Asia. They ain't out there trying to be cowboys and do-si-do in the Middle East. But I'll tell you what they are doing. They pop locking, they break dancing, they rapping, they trying to sing, because they know foundational Black Americans walk with a different step. That exceptional characteristic that we have, we're not the only ones who see it. Everyone else sees it. Difference is, when we see it, we get prideful because it's us. When they see it, they get insecure because they're not us. See the difference? That's that certified versus that tethered. So no matter where they are, all out the world, scattered, when they in their little villages or huts or whatever the fuck they doing, and they watching their little TV or got their little internet access, Wi-Fi bouncing off signals, and they see us, they see people that they know are once and forever exclusive. So you gotta understand, they wouldn't feel the need to come over here if they didn't already know that foundational Black Americans created magic. They wouldn't feel the need to fly over here if they didn't already know that foundational Black Americans created something they can benefit off of. So these motherfuckers gonna hate, they gonna be jealous, they gonna be spiteful, vitriol, bitter, all of that. But they know damn well there's some shit you gonna think and there's some shit you gonna say. And that's the difference between us and everybody else. Certified. So yeah, we expose everybody one by one, and we've been doing that day to day. The Black and Brown Coalition, that is a tether group. Minority Coalition, the Minority Coalition, that is another tether group. Black Lives Matter is a buffer organization for tethers. The Democratic Party is a buffer party for tethers. NCOBRA, the NAACP, the Black Congressional Caucus, all they are buffers for tethers. They specialize in creating a bridge that transports tangibles and resources allocated for FBAs across to non-FBAs. Translation, give other our shit. That's what they specialize in. And tethers come in all different shapes and sizes and backgrounds. They come from different countries. Tethers are everywhere. Every goddamn where. Close your eyes and reopen them and you're gonna see about 5 fucking tethers. And they're gonna be in this motherfucker trying to act like us, walk like us, talk like us, so they can get our shit. But the one thing that they all have in common is not where they from, but what they want. Because what they want is access to foundational Black American resources. It's always been that way. That easy, that simple, that plain. And just like everything else, you always got a Black person, counterfeit Negro, that works against Black society. And they're the ones that work for all the buffers. Y'all know them. It's the same faces, the same names, the same groups. They're the ones that are always trying to push someone else's agenda on Black Americans. They're always real adamant and real serious about getting us to go fight for somebody. Y'all need to care about them. Y'all need to care about them. How many times have you heard someone on TV or someone somewhere telling Black folks who we need to fight for, or what position we need to take, or whose rights we need to go defend? You don't never see this with anybody else. It only happens when it comes to us. They're always very serious about getting Black Americans to go fight for someone else's rights, to go get tangibles for someone else. Now, when it comes to our rights, when it comes to our tangibles, they ain't got no energy. How do you feel about reparations? Well, not sure, could be, let's study it now, HR 40 or whatever the fuck. But when it comes to the Ukraine, Russia, it be places Black Americans don't even go. It be places Black Americans never even heard of. And they be like, that's a Black American issue. How? It's nowhere near Black Americans. It just is. Well, Blacks should care about this. Why? You just should. Why don't y'all go fight for them? Y'all should care about everybody. What would Martin do? Obama said, yes, we can.
And it's created an opportunity for disinformation and for fracturing the united support that there has been for the Ukrainian effort.
We're already starting to see the fracturing across social media where people are saying Ukraine is racist, so why are we supporting them? Or Ukraine is a white country, this is a white problem. And that fundamentally misunderstands Ukrainian history. Ukraine is a multicultural, multi-ethnic country, and we have to keep that at the forefront. And yes, these videos that we're seeing at the border are horrifying. We have to be very careful with how we frame this question, but also to the extent we allow our emotions drive our responses. Because Russia will take advantage of this and use it as the disinformation, as we have seen with the George Floyd protests in 2020, and we've seen in the 2016 election.
And you know, what I said is that I want to hear from, you know, the African Union. I want to hear from specific countries that have students. And folks out there, listen to official information that's coming from these nations, not to somebody with lots of numbers after their title on Twitter. I want to hear from, you know, the African Union.
Whatever they can fucking do to get us to stop fighting for ourselves and to go fight for someone else. And the buffer is the one who always facilitates this. They pull out that tether crowbar and they slide themselves in. That is a $2 tether. And look at it. A lot of these laws that they try to create are $2 tether laws. The Civil Rights Act, $2 tether law. The Voting Rights Act, $2 tether law. The Build Back Better plan, $2 tether law. This new little lynch thing that they did, that's a $2 tether law. They made foundational Black American policies. Just like the Russia and the Ukraine situation ain't a foundational Black American issue. And if things are not our issue in the B1 era, we sitting it the fuck out. And we're gonna have a good time while we do it. Because while we're sitting out that conflict, while we're not being told who to fight for, who to live for, who to breathe for, we're gonna be over here chasing this money. We gonna get that bag. And while we over here chasing that money and getting that bag, they can tether, tap dance, swing, throw parades, have a whole goddamn picnic, as far as I'm concerned. Because right here, foundational Black Americans and B1 season, we're gonna do what we've always done. And that is to make something out of nothing and do it with style. Certified. But yo, once again, I appreciate y'all time, man. We really chopped it up today. I appreciate everybody in the chat room. I appreciate everybody who subscribed to the channel. Make sure you smash that like button. We building. Check out the Twitter spaces. Hit me up on Twitter, Black Alpha Net W1. Most of y'all already follow me anyway. I appreciate y'all. DM me. Let's get up. Let's hook up. Let's make something happen. Springtime is rolling. Summertime gonna be here, and we gonna shine any goddamn way. So we might as well do it together. Please make sure y'all stay safe. I always say that because when I don't be hearing from some of y'all, I ain't gonna lie, in my head I'll be like, damn, I hope they good. I see and I hear everything. So when one of my B1s ain't right, I can feel that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'll be like, damn, I ain't heard from him in a minute. Damn, I hope she doing good. So when I see y'all and y'all throw up them black fists, y'all hit me with them 100s and that B1 love, man, that shit do something. Man, that shit go through me. And to put a big ass smile on my face. So like I say, I do highly appreciate it. And I thank you sincerely. Y'all stay good. This is the Black Alpha Network. We coming. Y'all know how we get down. Uncorrupted, unfiltered, unapologetic, certified Black society. Y'all take care of yourselves, B1. I'll see you on the other side. And remember, Black is beautiful and beautiful is Black.